We understand today is Rosa Parks Day, and when we look at history, we see the episode in Montgomery after a long day's work and basically on the bus, and many people feel like that kind of lighted a fire, if you will, for what we call the civil rights movement and Dr. King and human beings coming together. When you think about Rosa Parks on a day like today, Rosa Parks Day, what goes through your mind?
I think about my history. I'm a product of segregation and Jim Crow. I can remember sitting on the back of the bus and being humiliated. I remember people getting on the bus and talking about how they were discriminated against on their jobs. One of the persons that I remember, that her son went to the beach and they fired her on the spot. She said there on the bus that she came on the bus crying that she had been fired because her son integrated the beach. So I'm a product of that era. I look at Rosa Parks as being a product of courage. During that period of my life and other people of my generation, it took courage to stand up against the systems. So I honor her, I appreciate her, and I hope the history of her being what she done carry on to all of our kids in the next generation.
As you look at Rosa Parks and the history of America and even the history of the Suncoast and Newtown, as it were, what goes through your mind when you think about the local experience, and you alluded to the beach, as we think about some of the history and as it relates, even, Rosa Parks and why she's so important in the grand scheme of things?
Well, it gave quite a few people courage. Newtown is really special because we're one of the few communities that still exist in the country. And there was a reason for it still here because people in this community had courage. We stood up against the school board. We stood up against the city commissions. We stood up against a lot of things in this community. Continue to maintain our business district, our churches in this community. Because most communities in the state of Florida and throughout this country has been phased out, African American communities. So it took a lot of courage for this community to still exist and to prosper like it is now.
In closing, as we think about Rosa Parks and her place in history, are there any final comments, again, as we think about a woman in the history of America?
Yes, each year we like to give recognition to people in the community, ladies in the community that symbolize the Rosa Parks experience. And there are quite a few ladies in this community that symbolize that. So we continue to give them praise and give them honor, and hopefully it will change, society as we know it as at now.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.